Y'all know what it
Y'all know what
is.
it is.
We're just getting the camera right. Hold on. I like it centered. I like it centered. Oh, I kind of like this angle. Got the OG in the back. Let's get the tunes on. Y'all know what it is. It's Wind Down Wednesday. Let's get right. Let's get right. I got a new track coming out. Finna get y'all the first 8 bars. Y'all ready? Let the beat come in. Lucille, I knew it was Lucille. Good evening. Oh, excuse me.
I know you feeling it.
I've been stuck on both sides. I really don't know. Nah, let me stop. I gotta wait for that. Good evening, great people. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Lucille is already in the building. Lucille was in the building early. Oh, shoot. Lucille was in the building at 8 a.m. Wow, yo, Lucille was in the building at 8 and she's here now. Shout out to you, Lucille. I'm a little bit hot. Been running around today. And first, yeah, as you're coming in the building, please make sure that you like for the algorithm. That's going to make sure that as many people get involved in this conversation as possible. We got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk about Juneteenth. Hold on. I forgot to update. Hold on. Y'all didn't even. Why y'all ain't even tell? I got both things wrong. As you could tell, I was running around a little bit. So it was running around a little bit. We just got back from upstate. Looking at some property, riverfront. It's like 14 acres. I don't know if we're going to pull the trigger, but it's looking good. Either way, it's looking good. And I'm super excited about that. As we always talk about, maybe making that transition off grid, leaving the city behind and getting more tapped in with nature, living a healthier life. Hold on. I had something in my soundboard. Needed to get that right. All right. So yeah, we got the right specs up. We got the wind down. We got happy Juneteenth. All right. We're going to talk about that. What else we got for today? So as I said, we're going to talk a little bit about Juneteenth. We may play this interview with Sage Steele and Jillian Michaels. We'll probably start off with a couple interviews, a couple clips for David Banner, Charleston White. And we're going to talk a little bit about Juneteenth. And if somebody here could if somebody in the studio audience could just pass me a tissue, that would be amazing. If somebody in the studio audience could just pass me a tissue, that would be amazing. I'm clowning a little bit. All right, so let's get this off. And we got a full day. Or a full show, I should say. Let me blow my nose 1 second. Wow. Wow. I was just going off too. All right, this is why when I go to blow my nose, I try not to press mute because I always forget to press mute when I come back. So let's get to it. All right, so we're going to get straight into today's show. I was just talking a bunch of nonsense anyway, so don't even trip over that. But we got Shy in the building. First off, let me acknowledge my good people in the building. Got Shy in the building, got Queez. Appreciate it. How long could y'all not hear me? All right, not too long. All right, so let's go over Juneteenth. And shout out to Queez. Queez actually sent me a couple dope videos, some clips, the Charleston White, as well as the David Banner that we're going to get into. But what is Juneteenth? Do you like it? Do you support it? Do you celebrate it? Do you rock with it? Do you get off work and now it's a federal holiday? I believe Biden made it a federal holiday. You know, Biden's always doing these amazing things for, as Trump would call it, the blacks. Right? All right. So here you have Juneteenth. And I was going to play a video for y'all for Juneteenth, but I don't need to play a video for you. I'm going to tell y'all what Juneteenth is. And maybe y'all can help out as well. So June 19th, 1865. That's when I think the last battle in the Civil War in Galveston, Texas was fought. And then that's when the word spread that all the slaves were freed because the Union won the war. Now, little history lesson for all of us. President Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, he was in charge of the Union. Now, a question that I have with Juneteenth, it always comes back to the Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln gets a whole lot of credit because he freed the slaves, right? That's what we grew up in school learning. That's not the exact story as far as the new research that I'm doing. So here you had Abraham Lincoln, Emancipation Proclamation, which it was at the time when, you know, the Union was going back and forth with the Confederacy. The Confederacy, they wanted to secede from the country and just do their own thing because they didn't like the direction as far as where the Union and Abraham Lincoln was pushing it. So here you have a lot of these southern states are saying like, yo, we'll do our own thing. We not with y'all. It is what it is. President Lincoln, I believe in 1862, wrote or signed the Emancipation Proclamation, but it didn't go into effect, quote unquote effect, until 1863. So, and Queens know where we going with it. Lincoln said we can have y'all not be in it with you. Lincoln said we can have y'all not be in the Union. Oh, Shy, you had to work today? Oh, we may need to talk. Well, by the end of this show, we'll figure out if we need to escalate the matter and figure out why you were working today. And if you are working, hopefully you got time and a half, because that's one thing that a lot of these companies are trying to be cheap with. They know it's a federal holiday, but they don't want to recognize it as a federal holiday in their workplaces because then they got to pay the employees time and a half. Very cheap. Don't do that. Don't do that. Lincoln said we can't have y'all not be in the Union. All right. So the Emancipation Proclamation freed all the slaves in the country, right? The Emancipation Proclamation. Now, even though they still had to win the war, because here you have Lincoln, who doesn't really have the authority of the Confederacy, because they're like, yeah, we're out. So we're not listening to your leadership anyway. So Lincoln, you know, put that out there, the Emancipation Proclamation, tongue twister. And the Confederacy said, we're not abiding by that. So therefore, Lincoln had to win the war. Once they won that last battle in Galveston, Texas, I believe that's the place where is known as the symbol for when slavery was truly abolished. All right. Texas is an interesting place, by the way, because a lot of people say that even when it was technically abolished, a lot of those people in Texas, they did their own thing and they figured out a way to keep it going. And a lot of the slaves, when you leave slavery, it's like, all right, we're free. Now, what do? Now you got to go negotiate a deal with your owner. You know what I mean? And you just had, yeah, I don't know if y'all ever had to try to go into your boss for a raise. That's hard enough right there. So here you had all these people that had a specific skill set, most of them doing a certain thing that was very suited for on the plantation. And now they had to make a decision. But I want to go back. I want to go back to something that I said about 60 seconds ago. And nobody called me out on it. So I'm going to assume that you thought what I thought before yesterday when I was doing a little digging on the Emancipation Proclamation. Did you know that the Emancipation Proclamation only applied to slaves in the Confederate States? That the Emancipation Proclamation actually allowed the states that were loyal to the Union to keep their slaves. It didn't abolish slavery in the Union. It abolished slavery only in the Confederate States. Did y'all know that? I need y'all to answer on that one. I know there's only 4,000 people in the building, but I need y'all to answer on that one. Damn, we lost 1,000. Did you know that the Emancipation Proclamation only applied to the Confederate States as far as the slavery being abolished? I did not know that. I did not know that. And it goes back to something that I've always thought and something that I heard when I started doing a lot of my conscious research or started to unlearn some of the things that we just were traditionally taught in school. But I didn't come across that. I did not know that Lincoln was still okay with slavery in the Union. And what it makes me think about is the politics right now. These politicians will do anything and everything just to push whatever their agenda is. And not only will they push their agenda, but they're going to put as much propaganda as they can to make us believe that their agenda is a just cause, that it's in our best interest, right? So here you have Lincoln, who conveniently at war with the Confederacy and says, well, slavery's bad, but we're only going to ban it with the people that we're going to war with. We can't afford to outlaw it with the people that we're in support of. Says a lot. Says a lot. And maybe when they say that the party switched, you know, a lot of people think that the Republican Party turned into the Democrat Party, Southern Dixies turned into the Republicans. Maybe based on what I'm hearing about Lincoln, it sounds like Lincoln is a current Democrat. He's just going to say and do whatever he needs to do, in order to appease a certain group of people in order to accomplish their agenda. It has nothing to do with principles, has nothing to do with values, nothing to do with morals. And I even looked at some more research on his history with the indigenous people in America, whoever you guys believe that is. And there were a lot of instances there where he showed his true colors, in my opinion. So let me get back to my notes so I'm not going too far off task. But think about that. From I don't know, what grade did we start learning about slavery? I remember watching Roots in maybe second or third grade. So from second or third grade, we've been indoctrinated with some BS that made us believe that the Emancipation Proclamation was designed to free slaves in the entire country, when in all actuality, it was just a war strategy that Lincoln was using in order to win a war, stay in power, keep the country together, I guess, as he sees fit. But he decided to do that while not freeing the slaves in the northern states and the border states. This is the same thing that we actually talked about in the first law, the 48 laws of power, where people will not say truths. They will not stand on principles, will not stand on morals, but will bend, will straddle the fence, will do anything necessary to push their agenda, but then obviously try to control history, to the point where it's very favorable to the victors. All right, so let's get into, I had a couple questions. Let me make sure that I got through all the questions. One, what was Juneteenth? We went over that. Number two was, what did the Emancipation Proclamation actually do? Nothing. And I shouldn't say it did nothing. It didn't do anything. It wasn't enforceable. Y'all know how like these contracts, these non-competes are. Y'all familiar with non-competes? Now, I think they banned non-competes. But before they banned the non-competes, I remember my dad telling me, like, when I first got into corporate and I was leaving Arthrex and I was going to work with Stryker, a medical device company. And he was telling me, like, yeah, you signed a non-compete, but as far as a judge, like it's unenforceable. So pretty much he just wasn't able to enforce it. So there were still other things that needed to get done. Number 3, did y'all know it only applied to Confederate states, slaves being free? We already went over that. What are the principles of Juneteenth? That's what I want to know. What are the principles of Juneteenth? And the reason why I ask these things, and hold on, let me, good evening, loved ones. Hey, Lucille. Queez, let me catch up with Queez. Queez wrote, they couldn't have Lincoln play both sides. Facts. No more non-competes. Queez, for the salespeople, no more non-competes. But so the reason why I ask, what are the principles of Juneteenth? I started to ask myself, what constitutes a holiday? Now we have holidays where it's Veterans Day, Independence Day. These are the more country-oriented holidays. Indigenous People Day, which was formerly Columbus Day. New Year's, I guess that's a universal one. But it seems that we have different types of holidays. We have holidays that are countrywide holidays, and then we have other holidays that are more associated with religion, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, Ramadan, these different types of holidays. Hold on. Lucille wrote, we are too wise and awake now to believe about slavery. Ooh, okay, Lucille. We are too wise and awake now to believe lies about slavery. Just don't accept it. It's not our portion. We are the chosen generation. I think that we are the chosen generation for a lot of different ways. And if I was in a different generation, perhaps I would think that was the chosen generation. But I'm always going to look at the now. Why are we the chosen generation? Because we are the generation of leaders right now. So that's how I look at it. But when I go back to the conversation regarding holidays, I started to take some notes. And I realized that since most Black people in America align with the Christian faith, there's no holidays that require any strong level of sacrifice, of discipline, of fasting like Muslims do in the month of Ramadan, like Judaism. I believe they fast with Yom Kippur, and Jewish people actually recognize Sabbath. The conservative Jewish people, they recognize Sabbath every week. That's a celebration. That's a holiday every week. And why I call it a holiday, because there's a lot of intent and purpose around it. Disconnecting from technology, all the things that are negative influences, and locking back in with your family, reconnecting with your family, reconnecting with your values, understanding your history, your principles, all these different things. And I realized that maybe there's a reason why Islam is one of the fastest growing religions. Maybe there's a reason why Jewish people are very successful. Maybe there's a reason why do I say this? Why Black Americans lack structure, lack discipline, lack guidance, lack the ability to sacrifice, all of these different things. The majority of the holidays that are celebrated by Black Americans have no principle around it. There's no intent. It's usually just, oh yeah, we just gonna give out gifts on Christmas, and then Easter we'll have a nice meal, and Thanksgiving we'll have a nice meal. Let's celebrate the fact that even though we think that the quote unquote Indians or Native Americans aren't us, and in my opinion, y'all know how I feel. I think a lot of those indigenous people we were included in that. I don't think that we all came across some transatlantic slave trade. Sorry, never seen a slave boat or whatever they call them. Never seen a slave ship. The numbers, when you look at the journal entries, it doesn't add up to the amount of people that would be here. It just doesn't make sense. But if somebody shows me some new information, I'm always down to entertain it. But my point is that we celebrate all of these supposedly meaningful holidays with such strong meanings, but there's nothing behind it. there's no level of sacrificing and fasting for a reason, where you have to go through a painful experience, where you have to go through of something that may be hard, where you have to take away something. I'm not talking about Lent, because Lent came up. I know that's something that I believe in the Catholic faith is done. But the things that I hear people doing with Lent is like, yeah, I gave up cheese, or I don't know. I gave up texting, or after a certain time. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be the discipline and structure that comes with the holidays that I mentioned with Islam and Christianity. That's it. That's a thing for me. Hold on. Let me read Lucille's comment. I'm not going to press mute. Sabbath is not from the Jewish people. They use religion to cover their evil doings, not by reading about them or thinking it's my experience and the knowing about them. They even use church as a cover up. So my question would be, Lucille, I don't know if you're right, or I don't have an opinion on that because I haven't researched it myself. But what I will say is, doesn't that make it even more embarrassing? Doesn't it make it even more embarrassing that we're saying that Sabbath technically doesn't come from Jewish people? And you're right. I believe Sabbath is described in the Old Testament, which is very similar to the Torah. So my question would be is, if Jewish people did, let's say, if Sabbath didn't come from them, then why are they more disciplined with recognizing it than Christians in America? Why do we celebrate it? Doesn't it say that the Sabbath is supposed to be done on the seventh day? Isn't the Sabbath supposed to be on the seventh day? So unless we changed up the calendars, which may be true, I'm wondering why we celebrate. And this, maybe you could help answer this, Lucia. I really don't know. But if it's supposed to be on the seventh day, then why isn't church on Sundays? I mean, on Saturdays? Isn't Saturday the seventh day? But obviously, who's to know the calendar system that they were going with? And we're going to touch on the Bible and some of the translations as we get into this convo. But my question is just simply, I think that when you just celebrate something without having any meaning behind it, it's almost like a participation trophy. There's no value to it. It's the same thing as getting something for free compared to something that you had to work hard for, save up your hard-earned money, and then purchase it. When you just get something for free, there's no meaning behind it. Look at all these Juneteenth things. Maya just told me that Kendrick Lamar is having a Juneteenth concert. So think about this. So let's have a Juneteenth concert, and I see a lot of this stuff going on in Jersey as well. What are we going to celebrate Juneteenth with? We're going to have a celebration. We're going to drink a lot. We're going to smoke a lot. We're going to make sure we look fly as hell, right? Because we got to be fresh wherever we go, whether it's the cookout, whether it's the park, whether it's the concert that Kendrick Lamar is throwing. And then we're going to listen to a whole bunch of inspiring, motivational music that is going to get our mind on the right path. So therefore, we can appreciate the opportunity that we have compared to the slaves that were here, right? We're going to appreciate the opportunity that we have. So therefore, we're going to listen to this music. We're going to listen to, I think I'm just saying Mustard, DJ Mustard, and him bring out all these LA artists and all these artists that have such inspirational music that teaches us discipline, that teaches us sacrifice, that teaches us consistency, that teaches us to respect our women, that teaches us to become better leaders as men. That's how we're going to celebrate it, right? That makes sense, right? Am I missing something? See, I would appreciate the holiday if it was celebrated more in a different way. I remember when Juneteenth first was a thing. I want to say it was like 10 years ago. That's when I was first introduced to it, I guess. And I loved it. I embraced it. This is around the same time that I was rocking with Black Lives Matter. Not anymore. And then I saw them commercialize Juneteenth to the point where I'm just like, yo, this is ignorant. This is a super ignorant holiday. There's no sacrifice with it. How do you celebrate something? Why don't some of our leaders come together and tell us or put together a plan for how we can properly celebrate Juneteenth and how we can properly reset our minds to remind us, because that's what a lot of these other holidays do, whether it's Ramadan, whether it's Yom Kippur, to remind us of the things that our ancestors went through before us and why we need to make sure that we're focused as possible in order to make sure that, for one, the same thing don't happen again, and for two, we're able to maximize on this amazing opportunity that we do have. That's what I would respect it more. So I'm going to stop rambling, get into a couple of videos. Like I said, Quee sent a couple good videos I want to touch on. We'll first touch on, let's look at this Charleston White video. And hold on, Lucille. Don't show this warning. Screen sharing. Why is it asking me about the screen sharing? Also share tab audio. Yeah, we want to share tab audio. I don't know why. Sometimes this thing just resets. So Lucille wrote, I worked for them and they all have the same spirit. Religious narcissist. I'm not going to take away from your experience, Lucille. I can tell you about my experience. I do think that cultures do shake. I think now, at first, when you categorize everybody, my first thought was, well, it's hard to say a blanket statement about everybody, right? But I actually do that a lot sometimes too, where it's like if I'm saying something about men, if I'm saying something about women, I may not be talking about all of them, but I do say that just to make a point, because I can't sit here and name all the people. You get what I'm saying? I do believe that culture can significantly determine the outlook, whether that's a spiritual or in the physical way that we think, way that we move. I do believe that. My experience as far as Jewish people being religious narcissists, what do you mean by that? Well, because and I'm always a little bit confused with the word narcissist. Narcissist, I believe, means to only think about yourself, right? Let's actually look up narcissist. And I'm not doing this for you, Lucille. I'm doing this more for me. I'm not calling you out on anything. I'm literally doing this for me. Narcissist is a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. So Lucille wanted to put me on the spot tonight, huh? So I'm gonna zoom it in. I'm built for this, Lucille. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, Lucille. Try to put me on the spot and get me to answer. All right, so based on this definition, is a mental health condition in which people, I'm gonna read it again, right? People have an unreasonably, hold on, I'm getting a call. Hello? Do not speak on this. I didn't even say anything. I'm just messing with y'all. Look at y'all. Stop playing with me. All right, it's a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. I would say that that's religious narcissist. You see me beating around the bush. An unreasonably high. This is what I will say. And y'all tell me if this is playing it safe. When you call yourself God's chosen people, then I would have to say that you have a high sense of your own importance. I would say that any group of people that calls themselves God's chosen people would fall into a category of religious narcissist. I said it. I said it. Any group of people. I'm saying across the board. If you think that God chose you and the way that if you think that God chose you and your people specifically, then yes, that's an unreasonably high sense of your own importance. Y'all know how I feel. I'm not with the whole this group of people is chosen, that group of people is chosen. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I don't think I don't think that gets us anywhere. When we always talk about having a sense of oneness, what is the universe? us being one. In my opinion, religion has just completely divided us. And of course, if I'm repping one team, if I'm on the Giants, I think the Giants are better than the Cowboys. So I get it. If I was Jewish, I would probably think that, yo, my religion's better than everybody else's. My God's better than everybody else's. I'm pretty sure that most Muslim people or Christian, well, I can't even say that. I don't know, because some religions like Buddhism, and I know the Baha'i faith, I would say that they believe that everybody is more on a level playing field, regardless of your religion. Matter of fact, they believe that all the religions are one. So maybe that is the case. Maybe that is the case. And I challenge people who are listening to this, who may not like what I just said, who may not have liked what Lucille just said, to really look at yourself in the mirror. There's been times where I'm telling you right now, there's been times where I thought that I was a part of a superior group. I'm just being honest. Why did I think that? Probably a lot of the stuff that I was listening to at the time. Just is what it is. Maybe I felt so mad at what people were doing to us, and the fact that when I look at black people in America, you look around the world. Look around the world. What have black, as much as I talk about black people in America and how complacent we are, how lazy we are, how purposeless we are, how disorganized we are, how fragmented we are, how lost and uneducated, and y'all get the point. As much as I talk about those things, what devastating thing have we done to another group of people? Here we've had some of the worst things happen to us, but you can't really point to something where we did something that was very detrimental to others, right? So I really used to think that, yo, why is everybody coming for us? Why does everybody want to keep us down? Maybe there is something that they notice that's special within us that we can't even see within ourselves. That's why they got to keep convincing us that we're slaves. That's why they got to not let us read to know about our history. That's why they got to create a new God for us to follow, rather than us following Voodoo or the other religions that we used to follow, whether it's Christianity, Judaism, or Islam in Africa or in the States. However, it was a different approach to the religion. Two people can teach somebody Christianity, and you can have one person convincing the other person why you need to be my slave. But both people are learning the same religion. We saw that with Nat Turner, right? So what did Lucille write? And Shy, you funny for that. I just saw you. Shy, funny for that. If God chooses you, you have to see everyone equal. Love them the same way, just like Jesus did. It's not names and faces or skin color or rich or poor. I agree with you, Lucille. I'm with you, Lucille. I'm with you. To whom much is given, much is required, right? So if you are the chosen people, or you are a chosen person, then show me in the way that you empower everybody else outside of that particular group. That's what I would say. That's what I would say if it was me. I'm also going back to when I used to really think these are some of the reasons why I used to think that black people in America were the chosen people. I used to really think that. And it was based on like, yo, why is everybody hating on us? And we still got a certain level of influence, but everybody just, we're the ones that push the culture, determine what's cool across the board throughout the world. But it's like we can't get out of our own way. And I used to, yeah. All right, so I'm rambling. Lucille wrote, we ain't lazy, we ain't crazy, we have purpose. It's these people taking that away from us by doing witchcraft on us all levels. And it's not only the Jewish people, but everyone like them. This is where I will push back, Lucille. Nobody's putting no spell on me. And I'm not giving anybody the power for me to even blame something on them, preventing me from being who I need to be and accomplishing what I need to accomplish. We are lazy. We are crazy. we continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity. And I'm not ever going to empower somebody else to the point where I can sit here and say, I lost because they just wouldn't let me win. They keep cheating. They're not being fair. It's not equal. We keep losing. What are we going to do? That's just not my mindset. Not to say that it's not right. I will just never adopt that mindset. They want to make us believe that we ain't worth God's love and to be who God called us to be. All right. I'm with you, Lucille. I'm with you. And I'm glad that you said they is not just referring to Jewish people, because I think there's just a lot of people across the world that are trying to do that. And when it comes to America, based on the history that I know, I don't know what I don't know, but based on the history that I know, I don't blame Jewish people for any position that black people are in America. Maybe I'm wrong. If somebody gives me some information, I told y'all I'm open to hear it, but that's not it. That's not it. Shoot, I blame the pastors and the preachers before I blame Jewish people, because they're the ones that know what's up and still benefiting from it, the money that's getting in their pockets. So I'm always going to look internally first. But let's take a look at this Charleston White video, and I'll stop talking.
Them giving us a day for Juneteenth, they acknowledge you guys were our slaves. And not only that, you guys found out 2 years later. So we gonna celebrate that y'all found out 2 years later. That's a spit in the face. To celebrate the end of slavery, and that wasn't the end the day we found out. We found out 2 years later. So we celebrating the fact that we found out 2 years later than everybody.
So, a couple things to speak on with this. And shout out to Queez for sending this. I disagree with Charleston White. I think he's wrong. We're not celebrating the fact that we found out 2 years later. We didn't find out 2 years later. Nobody was free in 1863. That's just what Lincoln pushed through with the Emancipation Proclamation. That's like me telling my next door neighbor whose home I don't own what they got to do in their house. Telling them, yo, you need to cut your grass. You need to wash your dishes. I can't tell you what's going on. I don't have the authority to tell you what to do in your house. Now, if I take it over and I own it, then that's different. So a couple things on this video, because this is why it's so important to do your own research. Charleston White is a super intelligent person, and I learn a lot from Charleston White because he always challenges me to look at it from a different perspective than I'm typically looking at it. Or maybe we do align already. And, you know, he still usually gives me some insight that I wasn't necessarily thinking about. But when you just rely on people, celebrities with idolatry, to give us the information, we're not always going to fact check it. So therefore, we can end up now saying that same information because a celebrity said it and he got tens of millions of followers. So therefore, it's got to be right. I'm sure he double checked it, right? But no, he's wrong. He's wrong in regards to just that point. Just that point. We were not free in 1863. I already told y'all. In the Union, the people that had slaves, the Emancipation Proclamation had nothing to do with them. Slaves were only freed legally when you won the war. Period. And for Charleston White to be from Texas, I'm a little surprised that he doesn't understand it a little bit better, because this is just a bit misleading as far as how he's positioning it. Now, maybe he's just positioning the wrong way, but just to be clear with y'all, I don't see it that way. No, 1863 was just somebody writing something down. That's like somebody writing a check. If somebody writes a check and gives it to me, that doesn't mean that they gave me the amount that's on the check until it hits my account. That's when I got the money, when you gave it to me.
Now this is what happens. Capitalism trumps citizenship. What do you mean by that, Charleston? Now you got Juneteenth shirts in Walmart, Target. They benefit off this now. We don't. You're not going to see a bunch of black people
Facts.
being able to sell out of these Juneteenth stores and Juneteenth posters like they do for the 4th of July. So now the capitalist wins off this, not black people. We was already celebrating the holiday. We was already celebrating it, so we lose. I would much rather Joe Biden.
And this is what I'm talking about as far as what are we celebrating? How are we celebrating it? Can we get on one accord? Can we actually have some intent behind it? Can we have some purpose, something meaningful? Rather than just going out there, enjoying having the day off in the middle of the week, being able to go out, drink, smoke with your people, and just kick the feet up and watch whatever TV you watching, or go to a Kendrick Lamar concert where they're talking about all the dumbest stuff in the world in these rap lyrics. And Kendrick is too conscious for that. I was a little turned off. I'm gonna keep it real. I thought that was a big commercial move by Kendrick to have this concert on Juneteenth. I thought he was like, I can position this right. I'm coming off this battle with Drake. I thought it was corny. I thought he was a little bit more. I thought he was a little deeper than that to celebrate in that way. Matter of fact, have the concert, but why not invite some conscious brothers instead of all the negative niggerish rap? Why don't you bring something else to the table? Bring some people that aren't typically in the spotlight. I hope D1 was there. Bring D1 there and a bunch of other artists like him that, because they may not be as popular as D1, but they're putting out good music. And because our culture doesn't call for people like D1 as much as we'll call for the ignorant stuff, then why not just celebrate those people today? You can do a concert with DJ Mustard and YG and The Game and all these other people another day. But that's just my opinion.
Had sat down and listened to Ice Cube than made this a holiday. I would much rather Joe Biden had sat down and listened to what Ice Cube had to say with that plan that he had than giving us a national federal holiday.
Is Joe Biden any different than Abraham Lincoln? Joe Biden gave us Juneteenth. Great man. Abraham Lincoln gave us the Emancipation Proclamation. Great man. A lot of people looking at this like, oh, look at him. He's criticizing Abraham Lincoln about the Emancipation Proclamation. If he didn't do that, then his ass would still be a slave. No, I wouldn't. I would be dead in a physical sense, or I'd be running somewhere, or already where I was running to. I bet any amount of money that's would have been the case. And who knows, the way that this world is coming to, maybe I'll have the opportunity to stand on it. You feel me? Who knows? Y'all know why we up there in upstate New York looking at that property. We building that ark. I'm telling y'all right now, I spoke with God, and God said, yo, you need a piece of property. You got to build this ark. A lot of weird stuff going on in the world. You need to have your own land. You need to be able to be self-sustaining on that land, have cold spring water running through it, have a freshwater river running through it, be able to have a good land that you can plant, that you can have animals on there if you need it, breathing in good air on the mountains, protected in a sense. Yeah, that's the conversation that we had. But going back to what I was talking about with this, what's the difference between Abraham Lincoln signing his Emancipation Proclamation because it just was in the favor of the side that he's on to push his agenda, and Joe Biden saying, oh, yeah, we're going to sign this, make this a federal holiday. Let's do this before Trump does it. Trump didn't do it, so let's do it. I think Joe Biden was the one that pushed it through. But the 3 Ps, pastors, politicians, and pimps, they're all the same. Now, of course, y'all going to name, why my pastor is, your pastor may be an exception. That's just my rule. Remember I said earlier, sometimes I say all of them just because I can't name every single one, but overall the culture, as far as how I'm concerned, and my perspective based on the culture when it comes to pastors and my real world experience, pastors, politicians, pastors going to say anything they can just to get that collection plate filled. Politicians going to say anything they can just to get reelected and raise some bread in the process. A pimp going to say whatever he needs to do to get that money. What's the difference? All right, so Lucille, let me comment on, let me read what Lucille wrote. To all the black people out there, you got the power in your voice. You got the power in your voice, mouth. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. Let God tell you who you are. And you are built to break every chain. Start today. Yo, Lucille just said a word, and I'm going to tell you what stood out to me the most. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. Let God tell you who you are. I know a lot of us pray every once in a while, but are you actually having a conversation with God? Are you sitting down and getting rid of all the distractions and sitting in silence and asking questions and listening to what God says in response? We're always searching for the, you know what I started to think? I started to wonder, like, yo, we validate things based on being in history books, right? But who wrote the books? Where did they get all their information from? Oh, from another book, because they did research on another book. Oh, well, they did research and they spoke to somebody from that native land, right? All of it's coming from a particular source of a human, unless you sit there and speak to God. So unless you trust the telephone game of human beings more than you trust your relationship with God, I would sit back and have some conversations with God. We don't know where we're from. Yo, have a conversation with God. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to give you a real world example of how this happens. Let me take Charleston off the screen. This is what I mean when I say talking to God. So I showed y'all a while ago. Matter of fact, it was on a wind down Wednesday about 2 months ago. And it was a video that got a lot of views, but it got taken down because I played the entire documentary of RFK. I'm glad that I played it. In the RFK documentary, because I wanted to learn more about him, we actually saw in the documentary that he was helping a Native American, indigenous, whatever you decide to call them, an indigenous group of people right about 10 miles north from where I am in Hackensack, up in that Mawa area, Ringwood, right up in there in the mountains, the Ramapo Mountains. And he was helping. I didn't know that it was in those mountains, because I don't think the documentary, I would have recognized it, obviously. I don't think the documentary said them by name, but they were just saying that he helped out an indigenous group of people with the issue that was at the Ford plant. I drove past that Ford plant today. I think it's a Land Rover plant right now. And then I drove past it 2 days ago on the way to upstate. So this is around the same time that I was looking at a different documentary, because I started to do a lot of research on my grandmother, on my mom's family, which is the Ramapo Lenape Indians, their tribe, which is state recognized, but we're not federally recognized. And that's a lot of BS right there, because when you're federally recognized, you get a lot more benefits. Like you can open up a casino, you can do different things, which obviously, and I found out, obviously that may not be beneficial for everybody. Everybody does not like that. Now you're in instant competition competing with Atlantic City, right? So what I found out was, I think the same day, I don't think it was in the same video, one video showed me that RFK had actually helped my grandmother's tribe. My grandmother's tribe that my mom is an official member of. My mother's an official member. I'm trying to give y'all the gist of everything. RFK helped that tribe because the Ford plant was dumping a lot of their waste into the backyards of these people, probably literally and figuratively, but dumping a lot of them into like just holes in the ground, water, all these different areas. And it was having a terrible impact on the people then and there. Actually, like then, because they're consuming the water, the land, all these different things. Obviously, they feed off the land, especially the indigenous people, right? But also a lot of harmful effects that affected people in their future. So here's RFK The guy whose documentary I've been watching, who y'all know I keep telling y'all that's my guy right now. That's who I'm rocking with. And I had no idea that he personally helped my grandmother's tribe, my mother's tribe. So in another documentary, when they were talking about why our tribe is not recognized as a federal tribe, it was because the Atlantic City, who Trump was obviously involved with, and they were talking about how the Ramapo Lenape used to be outside of Trump's office, boycotting Trump or, you know, just protesting, whatever it is. And Trump made the comment. He said, they don't look like Indians to me. So here you have both presidents, or both presidential candidates. Trump, obviously a former president, running for president right now. And both had involvements with my grandmother and my mother's family, their tribe, my tribe. So it was just ironic to me. And this was just through me digging, me asking questions to God, myself, to YouTube, across the board, right? So when I found out this information, it stood out to me that Trump said, well, they don't look like Indians to me. Now, most people will probably get mad when they hear that. But you know what I thought? I said, you're absolutely right. Because the Ramapo Lenape tribe does not look like what we grew up thinking a Native American or Indian looks like. They look like what we would call fair skin or mixed black people. That's what they look like. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to show y'all something. I got to do this. Mom, don't get mad at me. Hold on. I got to show y'all something. Did I send it to my mom? Yeah, I sent it to my mom. All right, so this may take a second, but I promise you it'll be worth it. I promise you this will be worth it. Just give me a sec here. I had no intention of doing this. Give me a second. Let me see. And Mom, if you have that picture, where's the picture? If you have the picture in the house of you when you're standing next to the door, you're about like 5 years old, I think, in the picture. Let me, hold on, I'm gonna find it. Y'all gotta bear with me. Y'all gotta bear with me for a second. I gotta find this. I gotta show y'all it. Y'all be easy. It's Wednesday night. It's Juneteenth. Y'all had off today. All right, hold on. Let me go to my mother real quick. Well, I probably would have tagged her in it. So let me go to her page. I'm on Instagram right now. Let me go to my mother's page. Looked at her tag photos. Hopefully I tagged her in it. I got it. So let me show y'all this. Hold up. My mom over here probably like, what is he about to do? Like, she probably about to text me saying, do not show that picture. It is what it is, Ma. We showing the picture. We helping people elevate. All right, so let me show y'all this. Instagram. Saved photos. More saved. All right, so I'm going to bring that up here. I want y'all to see a picture of Mom Dukes. And Urs, what's good, baby? I see you, baby. I want y'all to look at this picture. All right, so look at Mom, right? Look at my mother. Now I want to show y'all something else. Where is it? All right, now I'm going to share. So that's my mother. That's a picture of my mother. I wish I could show y'all a picture of maybe I'll show y'all a picture of my nan. Screen, window. All right, now I want to show y'all this. So look at my mom. I don't think I could zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Look at that face. That's my mother. Now look at this. Hold on, where's that screen at? Hold on. Where you at? Hold on, I think I minimized it. 1 second. Okay, where's the screen that I just put up? Hold on, I'm having trouble. Well, some of y'all could already see it on the screen. Hold on. Hold up. Where is this window at? Hold on. I can't find the window on the screen. Hold on. I'm going to send it again. I'm gonna send it again. Bear with me. Bear with me. I wanna make it bigger. That's the only reason why I'm trying to show y'all. All right, so I'm gonna share this other window. 1 second. Okay, so yeah, we got a bigger screen. All right, so let me show y'all this real quick. Y'all got to see this. Y'all like, man, he got to have an engineer. Urs, I need you, baby. All right, so look at this. Hold on, we're gonna stop sharing this. And I'm going to share how I want to make sure that I got the screen in the background so I can adjust it. All right, so we got the screen. All right, boom. Window, shared, boom. Look at that. Look at this person all the way on the right. These are the Native Americans. These are the indigenous people. You can't tell me that this person right here, all the way on the right, now, you got to get her, he or she, they got to get their hair combed a little bit. We got to figure this out. Look like they tried to give them a perm. Stop giving these kids perms. Now look at her, and I'm going to go back to mom. You can't tell me that that's not her people. That's not crazy to y'all? And I'm not even gonna lie. When I first showed my mom the picture, I said, yeah, it looks like your brother, my Uncle Ben, because she got to get their hair together. I ain't want my mom to think crazy, but y'all get the point that I'm making. Y'all get the point I'm making. Now let's keep, I forgot where I was with all this. But yeah, so pretty much me just asking God, me doing the research, I was able to figure out a lot of this stuff to the point where I'm looking at it like, yo, I was just led to all this. I didn't know RFK had involvement. I didn't know Trump had involvement. But, the point that I was going to say with Trump. So Trump saying that they don't look like Indians. That's because all Indians do not look like the Mongolians and whoever else they tried to make it seem that all Indians look like. All Indians do not look like Pocahontas. There are multiple videos when they describe Indians, quote unquote Indians, in these, whether it's Christopher Columbus's or all these different people that came here or came to South America or wherever, and they look at their diaries, look how they describe us. But we just ignore it. It's like we're reading the Bible and we grow up thinking that this Kenny G looking Jesus character is Jesus, even though in the Bible it says that the guy's got copper feet, copper colored skin and hair like wool. But we allow this straight hair Kenny G looking guy to be called Jesus, and everybody believes it. And black people are probably one of the only group of people on earth who our savior looks nothing like us. Just is what it is. Let's keep listening.
You know what we needed before this national federal holiday? A new crime bill. We need a new crime bill. We don't need no motherfucking holiday. I'll never celebrate the day again. I never celebrated again because it meant much more to me when the white man didn't confirm it and validate it.
Oh, I'm going to be real, man. I feel him on it. And for me, it's not the white man. For me, it's the government. Juneteenth meant more to me before it was commercialized and used as just another bargaining tool by the Democratic Party and Joe Biden to make black people feel as if the Democrats are our savior and look how we help y'all out. We give y'all a holiday. We're going to make it federal holiday. Nobody cares about, well, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. And I'm going to play one more video because it's just along the same lines of this. I would, move it to Friday, but I want to play it today because it's just aligned with what we've already been tapping into. So once again, this is
to teach them how to think.
My dog sent us this. Super grateful. All right, let me we already live, baby.
Because there's a possibility that I'm wrong too. Because all I want to do for black people is to teach them how to think. Because there's a possibility that I'm wrong too. I tell people this all.
instantly I'll listen to something. Well, you got my attention when you say all I want to do is teach people how to think because there's a possibility that I may be wrong too. You got my attention. I don't hear most of the people, the celebrities, the people that are on TV, the politicians, pastors, I don't ever hear them say this. They present information to us as if this is law. This is scripture. Matter of fact, matter of fact, I just realized that depending on how this video goes, we may play another one.
All the time. I don't know if what I know is the truth, but I know that shit that they taught black folks is a motherfucking lie. If you really knew,
excuse the cursing, it is what it is.
The things that I hate and the people that I hate is the people.
I don't know if what I'm saying is the truth, but I do know that what I've been unlearning and what I was taught my entire life was a lie. I do know that. I can confirm that.
People that black people love the most. Can I say it?
Say it.
I don't like preachers and politicians.
Oh.
There's a few preachers that I like and I think they're cool. But think about this. We got the form of Christianity that we have in America right now from the people that hated us the most. They didn't want you on earth. Why would they give you the key to heaven? They didn't want your black ass right here. Why would they take you wherever they at? That's a fucking lie.
I mean, common sense is clearly not that common. You can't rape my mother, rape my father, rape my little sister, rape my daughter, beat the hell out of my dad, beat the hell out of my brother, beat the hell out of me, not let me learn anything, not let me read, not let me educate myself, not let me learn about my history, not let me worship the religion, the gods that I worship. You cannot do all those things to me and then me sit here as if, oh, but the most important thing, how I conduct my life, who I accept as my savior. Do you think that those people are the people that are going to give you the game and give you, well, I know we did all these terrible things to you, but here. Matter of fact, that's exactly what it is. That's why the whole hell argument, which David Banner is going to touch on. I don't believe in no hell. I don't believe in hell. That's just more race baiting, fear mongering. That's all that. Come on, stop it. Hell. You think I'm going to obey my earthly master because when I'm no longer here in the physical, I'm going to be in a hot, burning sauna? I like saunas. They're healthy. I don't want to be in one all day, every day. But do you really think that I'm that foolish enough to think that like there's a hell? That there's good people on earth? Because isn't this how Christianity is? You can be the most honorable person and live your life, a principled life with integrity and truth. You can be an honorable person, but if you don't accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you won't get into heaven. We got another spot for you. But then you can have a child molester, rapist, killer, whoever else, but if they get saved and accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, they'll go to heaven. I don't subscribe to anything like that. It's no different when I hear and maybe because I'm able to separate myself from it. Most people are not able to separate themselves from their religion. Why? It has nothing to do with the actual book because none of them have read it. It has nothing to do with the actual religion because none of them know the principles. Ask somebody ask the next person that tells you that they know that they're so into God and the good book. Ask them if they read it. Ask them what the 10 Commandments are. I told y'all, it happened to me the other day at dinner. Like, oh yeah, man. Matter of fact, my man, shout out to bro. He gave me this book. Whenever somebody gives me a book or recommends a book for me to read, I read it. This is The Way of the Wolf, Jordan Belfort. And I'm still reading. I still got Ernst and Lana. I still got y'all. But they told me that. He said, this book, and he said, the good book. And I said, what's the good book? He said, oh, the Bible. I said, oh, you read it? He said, nah, I'm reading it now. And then, you feel me? We are a gullible group. We are a gullible group. But what that goes to tell me is that everybody needs something to follow. Not everybody can go through earth and go through life with the understanding that just being okay with there's certain things that I just never know. There's certain things that I may never find out. I'm okay with not knowing when I transition out of the physical form. I'm okay knowing that. Some people can't just say, look, man, I don't care about heaven or hell. I'm just going to try to be the best person that I can while I'm here in this physical form. And I'm comfortable letting the chips fall where they may whenever it's my time to transition out of this physical world. Not everybody's built to live like that. People need something. They need to, even if it's a foolish lie, people need to go along with something because they're scared of the unknown. The unknown is a scary place. Why do you think people so damn scared of black people, whether it's Africa, here and indigenous people, whatever, because you don't know. I don't know anything about them. So that unknown factor, it scares me. Let's keep going.
And have white people ever acted like Jesus? They've never were acted like Jesus. Where was all that shit when we were slaves? Where all that shit when they beating your motherfucking ass? Shit, I think it's just as bad if you a cop or you a preacher as it is being a fucking.
Yo, I gotta stand on it. Whether either you are part of the problem or you're part of the solution. So if you didn't own slaves and you were condoning it and your religion condoned it, then I'm never subscribing to that religion based on how it's taught from those particular people. I'm not saying that people in America, Europeans who came in America that taught black people Christianity, there's a lot of people who've never heard this type of Christianity. So I'm not saying Christianity overall, but I'm saying I'm never going to allow people that would condone or sit back and allow this type of stuff to happen for 400 years. How does slavery happen? Matter of fact, we talked about whether or not slavery was a choice. Slavery was a choice for everybody involved, for the slave owners, for the slaves, and for the people that sat back and tried to turn the other way and didn't get involved. Either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem. That's how I look at it.
Gang member. It ain't no fucking different. Or selling dope. Shit, I think it's just as bad if you a cop or you a preacher as it is being a fucking gang member. It ain't no fucking different. Or selling dope. At least you know what you getting into. Ain't no motherfucking lies.
I probably used to think differently about that, but I'll argue that the drugs that these pastors are selling us and the drugs that these politicians are selling us, literally and figuratively, are more detrimental than the drugs in our community. I definitely argue that. Because the drugs that the politicians and the pastors are selling are manipulating the way that we think across the board. They're teaching you that to be healthy, you could be the healthiest person in the world. Not high, not hallucinating to a certain degree, but hear this word and dive into this particular teaching that has you thinking completely backwards, hoping and praying for somebody else to come save you when there is nobody on this planet that will save you but you. Jesus ain't coming back, y'all. Jesus already here. There's a bunch of Jesuses, but not everybody's willing to step up to the plate. Jesus to me is a symbolic figure, somebody that was willing to step up during a time where there were certain things happening to where he felt he needed to step up as a leader and take people who were going that way and give people another light at the end of the tunnel this way. But instead, we sitting here thinking that somebody's about to get reincarnated, come back and save you. Isn't it more realistic to just sit here and say, well, I'm going to wait for somebody who I don't know when they're coming back. I don't know what they're going to look like. I don't know how they're coming back. I don't know how to look out for them. Isn't it more practical to just say, yeah, I'm just going to save myself. I'm just going to start thinking differently. I'm just going to start eating differently. I'm just going to start living in a healthier way. I'm going to start being more respectful to others and myself. How does it make more sense to wait for somebody, a mythical figure? I mean, even if it's a realistic figure, but the myth aspect of him coming back, you could, and for everybody who thinks that God wrote the Bible or the Bible was influenced by God, I can't wait. You need to tune into the show Friday. And maybe all the people that say that, I would like to ask you if you read the book of Deuteronomy. I think that's how you pronounce it. Because we're going to go over it on Friday. And if you read the book of Deuteronomy and you still think that that's influenced by God, that God would tell somebody, yo, those people over there, we don't know them, but they ain't listening to me. So go kill them, kill the kids, get rid of the women. What God would say, oh, yo, that lady walking down the street, yo, you could rape her. And if you like how it is, you know what I'm saying? When you rape her, you could make her your wife if you want. Oh, but everybody's going to say it's different times, right? It's different times. Okay, well, Joe Biden, when he made the crime bill, it was a different time. So should we excuse that? We got people down in Charlottesville, right, protesting a statue of the Confederate General Robert E. Lee. I think it was Robert E. Lee, right? Well, can't we just say, yo, it was a different time? You can't hold him accountable for that. It was a different time. So we pick and choose when different times we want to use that as an excuse to justify somebody saying something that's completely crazy and that would never hold up right now. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all may not like what I'm saying, but tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm off. Please educate me.
But I am just, matter of fact, the gang members will probably protect me more than the fucking police will. In some cases. Depends. You know, maybe not with these new washing teeth I got right now. I don't know. But seriously though, like, one thing that I don't do love, and that's one of the reasons.
I'm not there yet. We gotta stop all this gang banging. I don't want to hear about how it started off as a activist group. It ain't that now. Yeah, Christianity started off as one thing, but how it was introduced to us obviously was not that. So we can't use this whole excuse. Well, gang banging, actually, we did back to school program or breakfast programs and all that, yeah, but it's not that now. Either we're part of the solution or we're part of the problem. But for me, I do associate the gangs. See, I relating the gangs to the police, I guess, you know, police could be considered a gang. Definitely understand that. But I would put that on maybe the police as a overall group. But I'm trying to think, is there a difference? Maybe there isn't a difference. But I still feel like there's a difference. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I would more so, when I usually compare the gangs, I compare it to like the wars that are happening throughout the country, throughout the world. Matter of fact, maybe it is the same thing, because I used to look at our army, like when you look at things like the Vietnam War and people who want to join the United States Army, who I'm very appreciative protecting certain freedoms. So I'm not saying across the board in every situation, but when you get a situation like, let's say, Vietnam and some of these other wars that America has just destroyed, we talk about Israel, you know, and what they did, what was it, in Rafah, with the Rafah camp? Have y'all heard some of these American soldiers? Why do we think some of these American soldiers flip and turn sides? Because they see the evil that America does to a lot of these other groups. America doing the same thing. Barack Obama dropped more bombs on women and kids than Trump. But we won't talk about that, right? We only want to talk about when it's convenient for us to make whatever point we're making, or to help us in whatever argument that we're in. But we don't really care across the board. We don't care. A lot of us just don't like Jewish people. So and a lot of people are jealous of Jewish people and envious. So people are just getting on that bandwagon now to start criticizing Jewish people when they didn't have that energy before this situation. But now they see it as like, oh, it's okay to, you like somebody getting jumped. It's that mob mentality. You would have never fought that person one-on-one, but when you see him getting his ass whooped by a bunch of other people, now you want to sneak in a little kick. I'm going to call a spade a spade. A lot of y'all just jealous and envious. A lot of us are just jealous and envious. Does that sound better? Because you don't hold your favorite president accountable to the same standards. You up in arms. Oh, they did this to Palestine. The Palestinians, yeah, they did it to your black ass too. At least your family. You got more anger about what Israel's doing to Palestine than you do about the travesties that have happened in your own country to you, to your grandmother, to your great grandmother. You care more about certain stuff over there than your great great grandmother and how she was raped by master. And you wondering why some of your cousins coming out all light skinned.
Why I'm sort of backing up from some of the stuff that I know is true. It's because a lot of people don't want the truth.
Facts.
You know, a lot of people who, like a lot of white liberals, a lot of so-called black progressive people, they don't really want black people to be free. They just don't want to see us dying on TV and on cameras. Like, the real truth is black America is waiting for rich black folks to help them. They not. They got their money with us thinking exactly the way that we think now. We have no financial literacy. We have no spiritual literacy. And so we spend all our money and we give all the money to everybody outside of our fucking community. Like, if we start waking up and we really become conscious, then we're going to start loving ourselves and start realizing that they've been lying to us all the fucking time. One of the greatest things one of the worst things that's happened to me is when I truly started becoming conscious, it was the worst depression that I ever had in my life.
Yo. Queez, thank you so much for sending this video. I don't know if some of y'all have felt this, but I don't think people truly realize that when you decide to question things and when you take that leap to where you know that you can stay on this track and go with everybody else and be just one of the sheeps, or you can turn and go the other direction. And now while all the sheep are walking this way, now you're like Simba when there was the what is it called? When they had the what's the term for when all them animals, when they had the stampede and Simba's trying to run back the other way, and then Mufasa came and he trying to run back the other way. You see how hard that is. It's a very lonely place to be in. It could be a very depressing state to be in. Super anxious, a lot of stress, all these different things. People don't realize it, and that's why people choose the comfort of just believing everything that they've been told, because they're not built to go against the quote unquote norm that we were taught. They're not built to go against the indoctrination, the blatant BS that we know is not true, but we just abide by it because everybody's just so scared because, well, I ain't going to say it now. Maybe I'll say it when I retire, or I ain't going to say it now. But if somebody does it to me, then I'll say it. I'll deal with it. But I ain't going to, it's all BS.
Because think about this, Cole. And I tell people this all the time and they laugh. I say, I don't blame people for not listening to me. They tell black people you're going to hell forever, ever, ever. So would you listen to David Banner, black ass, or risk going to hell? Fuck David Banner. And I'm David Banner. I don't blame you for not listening to me, but that shit a lie. There ain't no fucking hell. Like, God know exactly the situations that we're in. We have lessons to learn, but even the fact that we think there's a devil. If you think God is omnipotent, duality is a fucking lie. If God created the devil, why would you even speak of the devil, even if the devil fucking existed? See, the reason why they give you the devil is because you'll never admit that you the fucking devil. So if you...
Yo, I'm going to ask y'all one question. In the Bible, can you give me one person that the devil killed or that Satan killed? I'm truly asking. Because I heard Billy Carson say something, and I'm going to play that video on Friday. It's too late today. We're getting ready to wrap this up. But I heard him say something, and I want to ask y'all. Out of all this talk with the devil and Satan, is there anything in the Bible where Satan or the devil killed somebody? Where Satan or the devil raped somebody? I'm just wondering.
Blame it on an outside entity, something outside of yourself, then you would never fix you. Mm-hmm. When I fixed me, my life changed. It wasn't no...
I don't need to blame. This is my point. I'm not blaming anything on an outside entity like he said. I don't even care if it's true. I'm never going to blame my shortcomings on somebody else, because what I end up doing is empowering them and taking away from the power that I possess to change, to become better, to become sharper, to become stronger, to become faster. So therefore, the next time that I compete with the forces that I was competing against before, and I may have lost, now I'm going to give myself the best possible chance to win. And I'm going to take all the lessons that I learned from the previous loss and mold that into the next one to hopefully be a win.
No fucking devil. It ain't these crackers. It ain't none of that shit. It's me. I'm the problem. And even if it is somebody else, why would they stop? Why would they take their foot out your ass and they benefit from you being fucked up? It's you. You the devil. So until you realize that you the fucking problem, you do. You no fucking devil. Because all I want...
I'm just going to say thank you, Queez. Did I miss a couple comments? My fault. All right, so let me make sure I catch up. My fault, Lucille. Lucille wrote, to all the black people out there, you got the power in your voice, mouth. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. Let God tell you. Oh, yeah, we went over that one. Fast for 3 days or a week or even 21 days and get your heart right with God. Definitely appreciate that. Love, forgive, let go, and be obedient. Follow God's instructions and do as he tells you. He knows our hearts. Oh, I got to ask you, Lucille, on Friday. I'm going to ask. I got a question. I'm reading this book, and it's talking about duality, and they said that you can't have any creator without a feminine and a masculine. So we got to talk about that. You're a David. You are here to defeat Goliath. That's a fact, Lucille. I know exactly what I'm here for. Hold up, Lucille. You know that my name is actually David, though, right? I just thought about that, like, because Lucille, just so y'all know, Lucille and I have never met. Lucille, you're not in America, are you? Hold up, am I tripping? Did you say that you didn't live here? I thought you said that you didn't live here. Maybe I'm tripping. But yeah, you are here. Wait, I don't know. But Lucille, did you know my name was David? That's the point. But yeah, I know exactly that's a fact, David. Like, I know I'm learning. I'm not gonna say I know who I am, but I'm learning every day. Nah, you're not late, bro. You on time, baby. OG, you already know what it is. I am an all-in-one, but Jezebel is hard to defeat, but with God on my side, it works. All right. I want justice for all black people who were treated unjustly. We are not born as slaves, so we ain't slaves. I'm not a slave. I rebuke it. I renounce it. I reject it, and I never accept it. So do you. And Lucille, don't think I don't peep that you never put the I before the am. I be peeping. So I see what you're doing. But yeah, Lucille, and for everybody who may be listening that may be a little thrown off by Lucille, he may not be black. It is what it is. You got to understand that, or you don't have to understand. But when you have a group of people that you see across the board not only get treated unfairly, but constantly just taking shit and accepting it, it becomes very frustrating. And you have to talk to sometimes a specific group of people in a specific way in order to uplift them, which has nothing to do with anybody else. And I know I may get accused of the same thing as well. So maybe I'm just caping for Lucille, but hey, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Queez, salute, bro. OG After Dark, you already know. Ant in the building. All right, so let's wrap this thing on up. So that was a heavier show. Monday's show was mid. It was just regular. It's basic. I told y'all I'm super realistic, yo. When I finish up a show, I'll be like, that was basic. Maya was like, how was the show? I was like, mid, little weak. Like that's how I felt on Monday. I'm so transparent. I don't care. Like I have to be my harshest critic. I have to. So Ant wrote, Dak over here looking years younger for Juneteenth. Let me find out. We dying dreads. Now I know dreads. You want to know what it is? It's because I haven't been wearing my glasses. That's what it really is. I realized that when I don't have my glasses, people keep telling me I look younger. So I'm doing 6 weeks, no glasses. I haven't had them on for probably about 2 weeks. I'm probably on 2 weeks, but I'm doing 6 weeks. I read in a book that it takes about 6 weeks to repair your eyesight if you are used to wearing glasses. So y'all know me, I'm gonna try it. You know, hopefully I don't hit anybody in the whip, but it is what it is. You know, I just have to look twice, you know, but I'm good. But yeah, man, first and foremost, man, I love y'all, man. I really do. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And before we wrap it up, I know we're already late, so I'm just going to get into the 30 seconds. I want us to do our visualization and meditation, but I did just want to mention those things as far as Lucille, because there is a sense of oneness. There is a oneness, but just like how I used to kind of look at Black Lives Matter when people used to say Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff. Look, if we're all a family and certain people aren't conducting themselves in a beneficial way for them to be successful, then just like a parent or big brother, big sister, whoever, you may have to focus on one particular sibling or one particular child a little bit more than the others because they need it. So it's all oneness over here. We are all one, whether we like it or not. We're all connected. Doesn't matter what your skin color is. Doesn't matter who you think is your Lord and Savior. Doesn't matter whether you believe in the universe, whether you believe in this God or that God, or don't believe in any gods. If you think you're a God, if you know you're a God, all these different things, doesn't matter. What does matter is that we are all connected and that we are all one. So for 30 seconds, let's just take a step back. And we talked about having different conversations with God, as Lucille mentioned. 30 seconds. Let's just clear our mind. I'm not going to give y'all any instructions with this one. 30 seconds. Maybe we'll do a little bit longer, 45 seconds, but just clear your mind. Have a convo with God. We all going through stuff. Let's talk about it. You feel me? But have the conversation with the person that matters the most. The universe, aka God, or the God, aka whoever it is that you think of when you hear the word God or the universe. All right, let's go. 30 seconds, maybe 45. Go. Yo, I promise y'all, I almost got caught up in that. Oh, hold on. Ant said, where you at with the B-Day split, man? I'll send you a picture of where I got. I lost the bet, though. I didn't get it. If it's funny is I told Bez because the deal was if I lose the bet, he comes out to Miami and dinner on me. So I get it's a win-win for me. I get to treat my brother, my bro God, to dinner, and I stretched a lot more than I would have ever stretched. Too much in some ways. I'm gonna be honest. Too much in some ways. To where it was affecting, like I'm like, yo, walking funny, like, yo, this ain't it. But now, and I haven't even stretched like that in a while, so I got to get back to it. But oh, you almost there, baby? I like that. 40 pounds down and winning, bro, for the winners, bro. This is a winner's circle, yo. This is a winner's circle. And in a winner's circle, you may not like everything that you hear, you may not like everything that you see, but I guarantee you it's all with the intent and purpose of elevating and becoming successful. That's what it is, man. We got to be able to push each other, hold each other accountable. And Quee sent the fire emojis so we can feel comfortable ending the show. But just wanted to tell y'all, all joking aside, we all have a unique opportunity in this world to be creators, to create whatever it is that we dream of, whatever it is that inspires us, to create a life around the things that we love, the things that we're passionate about. We have that ability to do so. All right. And sometimes all it does take is a step back, some quietness, maybe some nature, being still, not getting overwhelmed by all the distractions that we face in our day-to-day, and just resetting and reprocessing things. And maybe one of the things that we can do is maybe we'll do an OG Sabbath day. An OG Sabbath where really, in all actuality, we're just getting rid of the technology for a day. So maybe we'll try it out, or maybe we'll do a half a day. I don't know. We'll do a full day, but maybe we'll do from sun up to sundown. But that's not this weekend. All right, we'll discuss it a little more, but y'all know what it is. Y'all get some rest, enjoy yourselves, onward and upward, elevate on purpose, become who you need to become in order to lead how we know that we need to be leading. Onward and upward, strength and honor. Get to the bag. What's in my bag is health, wealth, integrity, love, happiness. Did I add another one? And peace. And peace. And on that note, I'll see y'all soon.